This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
Oh my God!
Welcome, everybody, to the DocNJock Wrestling Podcast. This is episode 76. This is our go-home episode to WrestleMania 35. Speaking of go-home shows, we had two dumpster fires on Monday and Tuesday. Of course, we're going to talk about those. We're going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly of both of those. Kind of a short and condensed segment on the reviews of Raw and Smackdown. That's just because we've got a WrestleMania card that is absolutely massive. And it's going to take us forever to get through our predictions. It's bonkers. On top of all that, we've got news and notes and got a little bit of insight on a guy coming back and a little bit of insight and maybe some traction on a guy who was supposed to be going but might be staying, and we're not really sure what the hell's going on, as well as it's a secret match that will probably take place at WrestleMania. I am the Jock. That is the Doc. Doc, welcome to the show. He is the one. He is the only. He is the Doc John Macaroon. What's up, cuz?
Can you guess whose theme that is?
I have no idea who this is. Brutus the Barber Beefcake?
You got it.
Is it?
Future WWE Hall of Famer. It was announced. Brutus, one of my favorite wrestlers because he aligned himself with Hulk Hogan. One of the interesting characters.
Do you realize they were like best friends?
Yeah, exactly. So Brutus Beefcake, it's a great Hall of Fame class, bro. Great.
Do you remember when you were a kid? I don't know if you had these action figures, but I did. They were like the big rubberized. They were like 12 inches tall of the wrestlers. I had Roddy Piper. I had Hulk Hogan. I had Brutus the Barber Beefcake. And I think I had Andre the Giant. I know I had Andre the Giant. I had those four guys. They were so heavy. Me and my sister would get into fights, and I'd whip them at her. And if I ever hit her in the head, I got in so much trouble because it would almost give her a concussion. They were so thick and dense. Absolutely crazy.
Look, man, I'm excited for WrestleMania weekend. I'm excited to watch wrestling, but
there's a ton of wrestling coming up this weekend.
A ton. You're talking about NXT. You're talking about Ring of Honor doing a show at Madison Square Garden. You're talking about WrestleMania. You're going to have NXT. So it's a weekend for wrestling fans, and we're going to talk about our excitement level. Did Raw and SmackDown deliver in terms of raising the excitement level? Not really. It's just kind of a situation in which the angles all the way around are obviously set in place. You have the top people doing their thing. The mid-card might provide an opportunity to take maybe a half hour off watching every single match. You know, maybe the men's and women's battle royals can, be piss break. Maybe Triple H. I'm not highly as motivated for Triple H Bautista. Raw and SmackDown, their jobs were to get you excited. And I think one of the good moments on Raw was, Brock Lesnar coming out. Many people had assumed that maybe Brock Lesnar was going to destroy Seth Rollins in this, appearance, but it didn't go that way. Seth Rollins comes down to the ring to interrupt another promo by Paul Heyman, and he gets in the curb stomp, which I thought was cool. And don't underestimate, I know a lot of people hate on Brock Lesnar. Don't underestimate, he sold it pretty well. He looked hurt. He looked like a guy that could be defeated by Seth Rollins by how he was selling for Seth Rollins.
It looked like when he took those low blows, which I want to talk about the low blows in a second. When he took those low blows, it looked like they actually connected. Like, he actually hit him in the dick, and Brock was down for the count. So the fact that Seth Rollins resorted to a low blow, not once, but twice, that was weird to me. When I watched this unfold, I was like, that's such a heel tactic, but he's a face. He's a good guy. Why is he using heel tactics? But at the same point, it's Brock Lesnar, right? And I think all of us love watching Brock Lesnar get hit in the balls. So I think it's okay. I'm not sure if we've got a heel turn coming for Seth, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, and maybe I'm pontificating a little too much. I just thought it was weird that he used the low blow twice to cripple Brock Lesnar. I loved every moment of it. I love the sweet chin music. I love the curb stomp. I love the low blows. I love the promo he cut and basically telling Brock Lesnar that he didn't give a damn about wrestling, didn't give a damn about that title, didn't give a damn about any of these people, and how, yeah, we all know you're the most decorated athlete in combat sports, but you know what? Your time's up, and the Beast Slayer is going to take care of you at WrestleMania. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought this was a really good way to kind of get into Monday Night Raw, because it happened very early in Monday Night Raw. I thought this was awesome. I thought it was spot on. I also liked what kind of took place towards the latter half of Monday Night Raw. The whole Rousey Flair, Becky Lynch.
Kind of wild, crazy scene backstage in the ring.
Absolutely nuts.
Wild.
So they end up beating the Riot Squad, and the next thing you know, they start attacking and mauling each other. Police get brought in. They get hauled to the back, and in the back, they've got squad cars waiting. And next thing you know, I don't know at what point it would ever be a good idea to put Rousey and Becky Lynch in the same squad car. Like, how? What would make you think that's a good idea? They do it. And you get some glass-shattering action as Rousey was attempting to kick Lynch in the face. Looks like she actually did kick her in the face a couple times.
Did you see that photo where Charlotte's kneeing Ronda Rousey from the limo? That was sweet.
That was sweet. It was a lot of good action, man. A lot of good still shots.
Yeah.
This sold. This did what it was supposed to do. It sold the main event for WrestleMania. You want to see this. We were talking pre-show, and I had made the point to you that, and I wanted to save this for the end when we got to SmackDown, but we'll just get into it right now. There's not really a match on WrestleMania that I'm like, man,
I'm dying to see.
I've got to see this.
It's not like dream matchup scenarios.
No, it's just not. They did a really bad job selling this entire WrestleMania. And I was telling you, if this was back in the day where you had to order the pay-per-view, there were some times where there were pay-per-views and WrestleManias, to be more specific, where you're like, I have to get this. I've got to see this. This is not must-see TV.
There's a chance WrestleMania could be a dud, but there's also a chance because if the top-end people do what is expected, like AJ Styles, Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan, the women's main event, Seth Rollins, the upper echelon talent, when they rise to the top, could produce a lot of memories.
It could be good, but again, it could be. This is not
epically dud.
Right. This is not a WrestleMania where if you were like, hey, that's going to be $30 to $45. I don't even remember how much pay-per-views used to cost to get them in HD, but you're going to pay this much money to get this for, this is what, like an 8-hour show. For 8 hours, I'm not paying you that money. Like, it's cool that we have the network, and I pay $10 a month for it.
Worth it for $10.
But I'm not paying you the one-time cost of $30 to $50, maybe $60 for this. This is not one of those pay-per-views where I have to see it. And that's on WWE.
You're right.
WWE has dropped the ball selling this. And not just for WrestleMania. If you look back at the last couple go-home shows, they don't get you hyped. They don't get you invested. There's nothing that you're like, man, I got to see that. I have to see what's going to happen here. There's nothing like that. And that's just because the storylines are garbage and they've done a bad job packaging it. The only thing I want to see, the only match that I'm like, man, I have to see that, is the main event. And that's Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. And I don't even want to see Charlotte Flair in it. I don't. I find it weird that they added the stipulation that it is a...
winner take all.
Yes.
Thumbs down for you?
So I want WWE to be consistent, and I want them to be consistent across the board. And I think by making it a winner take all, so basically what you're doing is you're going to merge the titles now. So we're going to have
one less title for the women.
Right. We're going to have one women's title that I'm assuming, much like the tag belts, will float across everywhere. Brands. Right. And if that's the case, okay, fine. You probably should have had some foresight and realize, hey, our women's roster is a little bit thin. We can't just be doing this with multiple championships. It's weird to me. If you're going to do one championship for the women, why not do one championship for the men? Like, I hate that red title. I think that red title is stupid. I really do. It bothers me every time I see it. You know, Daniel Bryan's it's okay. It's cute. It's funny. I like the original WWE title or the World Championship, the black-faced one. I think that one, it looks classic, right? Like the belts we have on our wall, I would give anything to go back to having a belt like the World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship Kevin Nash belt that we have right there.
The WCW old school heavyweight belt.
Like why can't we have belts like that again? I don't need something like that. And as I say that, I'm pointing to what is the replica of the World Heavyweight Championship belt. I don't need that. It's weird to me. You know, that's a belt. That's a gimmick. And it's just kind of how I look at it. I don't know. Let's move on to the bad real quick with Raw. I thought the way Finn Balor presented bringing the Demon back was weird.
and bad.
It missed. And this goes back to WWE.
Why?
Not being able to package the wrestlers properly. There was no need for Finn to go on screen and do that. Like, he could have showed up at WrestleMania as the Demon, and it would have been something for all of us to talk about.
And you've been saving it for this long, I think, versus Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
To get the IC belt is really worth it.
Do you remember when he was contending for a World Heavyweight Championship? And
it makes no sense because why did you give him
the Demon?
Yeah, why did you give him that run that you had when he first defeated Bobby Lashley? Just make it a moment then for the title when you first win it.
I mean, he ends up beating 2 wrestlers for the IC belt, and he didn't need the Demon. Now all of a sudden he needs the Demon to beat Bobby Lashley? Like, it's inconsistent is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's poorly packaged and put together.
But at WrestleMania, they try to make all the marks happy, and for the Demon, it's obviously it's bad.
I get it. A guy like Mike Putty going to be excited. He's going to be ecstatic.
Right.
You know, and look, I'm going to pop too when I see it because I love it.
It's a great entrance.
I think it's awesome.
On that stage.
I just think the way that it is being portrayed and the way it is being told
could have been done better. It could have been done better at a bigger moment. Like, let's say, for example, now it's been several months. Okay, you know what? He keeps holding it off, and you keep teasing it, You don't announce it, like you said, and then maybe you have it at SummerSlam. Let's say it's going to be Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. Then he brings it out, and then you have this world-class match between 2 talented wrestlers.
Right.
And then everyone's like, oh my gosh, it adds the intrigue of, oh, does this mean that the next Universal Champ is going to be Finn Balor? So, yeah, it's a wasted opportunity to announce it.
Right.
Really wasted.
It's just weird. So the ugly.
One of my uglies, the Apollo Crews match. I just felt like
you didn't like that.
Didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
I just felt like why? I mean, it's great. It's great to see all the mid card talent around the ring, but it wasn't a match that needed to take place at all. That could have been a main event match in terms of put it before Raw, not on the main card.
You know what? You know what's upset me, and I was tweeting about it too while Raw was unfolding. EC3, just the failure to utilize this guy, and
he was on the TV, was good. But not utilized great.
He just
corny.
They do nothing with him. He's
fodder for Braun Strowman.
He's just a guy who's there.
He's a comedic act. He's fodder. It's not funny. He's basically the Tyler Breeze of this edition of Monday Night Raw in this era.
It's bad.
It was kind of cool to see them together. It's like, oh, these 2 guys are the most unutilized guys ever.
It's a bad look.
Yeah.
The ugly for me, Heavy Machinery beating Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. I'm not sure why they're on a go home show.
Exactly.
As well as Braun Strowman beating up more jobbers. Again, what are we doing here? What's the point? Are you trying to sell to me that Braun is strong? Oh, I know this because he beats up real guys. Doesn't need to beat up jobbers. Overall, I thought Raw was really inconsistent. I think you had 2 moments that were really, really cool. But other than that, it was just kind of like, all right, cool, whatever. Yeah. As far as SmackDown goes, SmackDown, I texted you, I think, about an hour into SmackDown, and I was like, man, this is really, really boring. And the thing about SmackDown is it was really, really boring.
Yeah.
But it had 3 really good moments, 3 real high spots that weren't really wrestling, which was weird.
Yeah.
So for a wrestling show to not really have any wrestling, well 2/3 of it, of the high spots weren't wrestling, was just kind of, But I thought Becky Lynch's promo, so she shows up to the arena roughly an hour into the show by police. She's brought in a police car with the sirens blazing, and she gets out of the car, walks down to the ring, she stands on the announcer's desk, and she just talks to the crowd. She just talked. That was it. It wasn't her making boastful proclamations. It wasn't her riling them up. She just basically went out there, and as a matter of fact, as you could be, she talked to the crowd, and I loved every moment of it. I thought it was great. It got me that much more invested in her and in this match.
All in all, professional. Really interesting the way Becky Lynch has been utilized. She's got now the opportunity to do longer promos and to have the microphone. She's taking advantage of it. I kind of feel like, to tease it a little bit, she's probably the odds-on favorite to have a WrestleMania moment.
I would hope so. I really would. I thought the Samoa Joe match versus Mustafa Ali, I thought that was really good. Again, Mustafa Ali, I don't want to say he's underrated because I think there's a lot of talk about him, especially with the Smarks. I think everybody realizes what he can bring and what he does. I think he's an incredible talent. I think Samoa Joe's an incredible talent who is totally underutilized by WWE every single week. Samoa Joe put Mustafa Ali to sleep with the coquina clutch. I thought it was a great way to sell this match, to do this match. You don't take anything off Mustafa Ali, and you make Joe look like he's that much more lethal. I thought this was good. I thought they did a decent job. This is one of those things where they didn't screw it up, and I like that, and I applaud them for that. SmackDown ends with Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan doing a contract signing. Daniel Bryan grabs the microphone and basically talks and degrades Kofi and degrades the fans for about 10, maybe 12 minutes. Kofi finally has enough, and he cuts one of the most impassioned promos in front of a very vocal crowd. This crowd was so amped for Kofi. At times, you heard them chanting Kofi Mania, Kofi's the man. You heard them chanting for New Day. You heard all of it, all right? Kofi alone's name got chanted. It was Kofi, Kofi, on repeat for the entire 15 minutes that this segment went on. The entire crowd was behind Kofi. Kofi gave me goosebumps with his promo.
Nice,
I thought it was great. This was a moment that helped sell. If you weren't invested in this match yet, this helped sell you. It totally helped sell you. It did its job. It was only 15 minutes long. Kofi only spoke for roughly 3 or 4 of them, but it helped sell this match, and Kofi going into it as an underdog with the crowd behind him is awesome. I loved it.
It was awesome. It was something where the passion that he felt, he was able to kind of embody the struggle. Mm-hmm. And that's what it came across as, is like the fans understood it, everybody understood it, and something that's underrated was the role Daniel Bryan took of saying like, hey, don't let life pass you by, don't let opportunities that maybe you have caused for your career to go down this road. So his kind of needling a little bit added to the moment, and it was nice.
It was awesome to see these two guys who are masters at their craft do their job. It was great. The bad, we had an 18-person intergender battle royal just because. Made no sense. Didn't really understand it. Asuka ended up winning it. Good for her. It was absolute garbage. The ugly, the majority of SmackDown. Now, with all that being said, we talked pre-show, and we discussed the verdict. And I think we both agreed that even though SmackDown, the majority of SmackDown was bad, it was still more consistent and still better than Raw just because of the big moments that it had. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So with that, we'll give SmackDown the edge. SmackDown now up to 50, while Raw has 27.5 and that no credit, which always makes me smile. If we have to give you a match of the week or a moment of the week, I myself was really sold on the Becky Lynch promo. I thought it was great. Or the Kofi Kingston promo. I thought that one was great.
Amazing.
Either one of those, I think you can get away with and be satisfied for what's going to come up this Sunday. Let's get into the predictions here. Now, we've got a ton of matches. It's absolutely massive what we've got to get through here. And we're going to try to do it as coherently as we can and as, I guess, quickly as we can. We're going to start off with the kickoff show. We're going to have the 6th annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. In this, you will have such names as Colin Jost and Michael Shea of SNL, Braun Strowman, who I believe is the odds-on favorite for this, Andrade, Apollo Crews, Titus O'Neil, Tyler Breeze, Jinder Mahal, No Way Jose, Bobby Roode, Chad Gable, Kalisto, Grand Metalik, Lindsay Dorado, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, Heath Slater, Rhino, Victor, Connor, Ali, Shelton Benjamin. Ali's in this? Man, could have gave this guy a match. Shelton Benjamin, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Otis, Tucker, my boy EC3, and there'll probably be somebody else who'll be called up from NXT, thrust into this match. Who you taking? You just pick a name. Good luck. Good luck.
Apollo Crews, baby.
Shut up, for real?
That's my guy.
Apollo Crews?
Yeah, he was the guy that was victorious on Raw. He looked good next to the trophy. I think he's a guy that needs a push. Apollo Crews, baby. Give me that.
All right, we'll go Apollo Crews for you. I like that. I think it's different. So, like I said, I think Braun Strowman's the odds-on favorite here.
Yeah.
But my boy is going to get some time, so I got to go with him. I'm going to go EC3 because...
Nice.
Why not? Who the hell knows? Good luck with either one of us getting this right. So the second kickoff show. This is the 2nd annual WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. Now, a little backstory. Part of the reason that Asuka lost the belt and you now have Charlotte Flair with the belt is it was a way to get the title on the show as well as boost the Battle Royal. Because the WWE was fearful they didn't have enough women for the Battle Royal. So by taking Asuka and taking Mandy Rose and taking whoever else was going to challenge for the SmackDown Championship, they are now all thrust into the Battle Royal on the pre-show. So, all that being said, you get to pick from Asuka, Carmella, Naomi, Lana, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Nikki Cross, Dana Brooke, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Mickie James, she's still on the roster, Zelina Vega, and, I don't know, somebody from NXT, maybe Kairi Sane.
I think this is easy. I mean, how do you bring down Asuka and then not let her win this Battle Royal? So I think for me, it has to be Asuka because you've butchered her career. I think she would be, if she was a more vocal person, she should be the first person to walk into Vince's office and just be like, what the hell? You took the title off me. You're giving me from last year's WrestleMania to this, a Battle Royal. That's probably the biggest downshift and downgrade in WWE history in terms of where she is and what she can present to where she's actually being utilized. Really, it's bad. She's probably the most underutilized performer, if you want to say, on the card. Asuka in the Battle Royal, get the hell out of here. Give her the win.
Ooh, I like that. So for me, I'm kind of at a crossroads here, all right? And the reason I'm at a crossroads is I'm not sure. I've got two women in mind, all right? And I'm not sure who I want to go with here. I think I'm going to go a little bit off the board, though. And I mentioned her name a few seconds ago. I think I'm going to go Kairi Sane. I think Kairi Sane gets a call-up. I think she gets in this match, and I think she wins it. Again, you're not really winning anything if you win the Battle Royal. You get a stupid trophy that looks like a vagina or a uterus, so good luck with that. I think Kairi Sane might win this. So that's who I'm going to give the nod to. All right, we've got Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre. Roman Reigns battles leukemia, comes back, and then next thing you know, he's instantly inserted in a match with Drew McIntyre, and Drew looks like the guy, or it looks like the face of the heel stables for Monday Night Raw. And Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns. He is essentially the face of WWE. Who's winning? Which face?
Man, cuz I'm torn. I really, really want Drew McIntyre to use this as a jump-off point, but how do you have Roman Reigns come back to WrestleMania and not have a moment? Give me Roman Reigns.
I'm going to go opposite of you. I totally agree with what you're saying. I just think it should probably be Drew McIntyre. Why the hell not Drew McIntyre? I'm just going to go Drew. I'm just going to go opposite of you. AJ Styles, Randy Orton. This has been great. This has been the feud where it's indie wrestler versus WWE guy. Indie career guy who finally makes it to the big show versus the guy who basically was handed everything because of who his dad was. Who are you taking, AJ Styles or Randy Orton?
I'm torn. My heart says the face, AJ Styles. But, Randy Orton could use a bump off moving forward. This one's tough. Is there a chance for a no finish? Is there a chance this just, extends? But, it's WrestleMania. This guy signed a new contract. He deserves it. He needs to go over again. So give me AJ Styles.
Cool. I got AJ Styles as well. I'm not sure how you beat him. Right. Like you said, he just signed a new contract.
AJ.
I just don't understand it. The farewell match, Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin.
Psh, Kurt Angle. Let's move on. It deserves 4 seconds of time.
All right, you're going to say Kurt Angle. I'm going to go Baron Corbin, and I say Baron Corbin because you're leaving. You do the job on your way out the door. That's how wrestling's supposed to be done. That's how it should be done. Do the job. Kurt Angle's going to do the job because he understands it. He gets it. All right, Falls Count Anywhere match. The Miz, who had a big win on SmackDown against Sanity, versus Shane McMahon.
Thumbs down on how Sanity was used. If Asuka has been underutilized, you bring in Sanity. And I was thinking this on the drive in. The way some NXT people have been utilized, I just think the call-up is their mark. Like, okay, great, you got called up. Welcome to the circus. Nothing has been done with Sanity. Arguably, if Asuka's been underutilized, number one, two is Sanity. I mean, this group was pretty popular in NXT. They did some things. So this is where they're at. Holy cow. They get destroyed by Miz, and he looks strong on SmackDown. This one's an easy one. Miz all the way. He's going to destroy Shane. Shane's going to take a lot of bumps, look strong, but give me The Miz on his way to probably a big 2019.
Yeah, I've got The Miz as well. The no-holds-barred match with Triple H. His career's on the line as he takes on Batista, the one man he has not been able to beat.
Yep, he gets his win, Triple H. It's easy. Take the money. Batista came back. He looks good, looks strong. Great promo. Kiss my ass, Hunter. Great job. Moved on. It's great he's on the card. It's a way to put Triple H. Piss break match, probably. Won't be too many high spots. It'll be action-packed. A lot of heavy hitting, as we would say, in this kind of matchup. Give me Triple H.
I'm going to go Triple H as well. I don't know how how you write Triple H off. Like,
No, he's not going to end his career.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
He's got so many more matches to give. Like, maybe at least one more year.
So I just don't see it making sense just because of what's on the line here. Cruiserweight Championship. Buddy Murphy, who's the champion, versus Captain Abs himself, Tony Nese.
I don't see a title change here. Give me the champ.
Buddy Murphy has had that belt forever. I think Buddy Murphy's a great athlete.
The champ is here.
Awesome.
He'll keep it.
I'm gonna say Buddy Murphy as well. I don't know how you take it off him. I don't know. And for Tony Nese, this doesn't do it for me. All right. Fatal 4-way for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. The Usos, who are the champions, versus Ricochet and Aleister Black, versus Sheamus and Cesaro, versus Rusev and Nakamura.
Oh, man. I love the Usos here. I feel like I have to say the Usos, but the way it's trending, the smart mark in me, I would love to hedge it, but I think the Usos are okay with losing the belt. Give me Ricochet and Aleister Black.
Ooh.
I think based on what we're seeing, the trend would be they're due for a title. I mean, they're performing. They've beaten top guys. They've been across both brands. They can represent the title pretty well. So I want to go with the upset. I want to see a title change. I think it's a good chance to pop. Ricochet will probably have moves that will shock everybody. So give me Ricochet and Aleister Black. Come on, baby. Do it one time.
So I'm torn. Like, I don't believe Rusev and Nakamura get a shot here. I just don't.
Easy elimination, yep.
Yeah. Man, Sheamus and Cesaro, they are a cornerstone tag team, as well as the Usos. But you do have the new kids on the block. I don't want to go with you. At the same time, I don't want to keep the title on the competitors here. I really don't know where this is going to go. Oh, man. All right, look. I don't think the title stays on them, but I'm going to take the Usos anyways.
Day one-ish from the Jock.
I just don't know. I don't know. This was a poorly set up match. There's nothing there. They're like, what are we doing? We had a match on SmackDown, so let's just have another match on WrestleMania. All right. Fatal 4-way for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. So you've got the Boston Hug Connection, who have the belts, versus the Iconics, versus Beth Phoenix and Natalya, versus the Masters of Botch, Tamina Snuka and Nia Jax.
Title holders stay the same. Easy. This match, probably won't be too invested in.
I really want to say the Iconics. I do, but I don't want to shoot myself in the foot. I'm going to go Boston Hug as well. All right, so now we have the WWE Intercontinental Championship. And
easy, Finn Balor.
We discussed this. We discussed Finn coming in with the demon, and we didn't like the way it was set up. But I think you're right. I think Finn, you don't beat the demon, right? You don't. Like, WWE has botched this all the way around. But how do you beat the demon? It doesn't make sense to me for them to do it. I don't think they do it. So I'm going to go with the demon as well. Finn Balor wins this. WWE United States Championship match. Now, I seen a press release that this match might have been pulled. We're going to leave it here just in case it doesn't. I haven't been able to get to the press release yet to see if it has been pulled. But Samoa Joe is your champion going up against Rey Mysterio.
That ankle injury, huh? Interesting the way that played out on Raw. To have Rey Mysterio go up against Baron Corbin. Samoa Joe, I don't think you give Rey Mysterio a moment. You know, he's back to do the job. Samoa Joe's the man. If they pull it, if they have Rey Mysterio win the match, I think it'd be a mistake.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Samoa Joe.
Why would you take it off Joe?
Yeah.
So, again, guys come back for a reason. Rey Mysterio, your job is to put over the next crop. All right, this is a match that we have gone back and forth on a few times. You have the WWE Championship match. Daniel Bryan, who holds his hemp belt, versus Kofi Kingston.
This is tough because Daniel Bryan really would do a solid for Kofi Kingston in his career. The fans want it. It's what the fans want. And if you make decisions and you look at what could happen, can you sell WWE on Kofi Kingston? I think it's going to happen, but I just can't picture it at WrestleMania. I think this is a perfect one to declare this feud won't end. It'll go on for the next 1 or 2 pay-per-views because it's hot. So why pay it off so fast? Because then what's next? If you think about it long-term in the scenarios, I feel like then, Daniel Bryan has just now gotten the belt. Does he just get it to put over a guy like Kofi Kingston? No, it will happen, but I just think it needs to marinate more. It needs to build more. The fans are behind it. It's going to be white hot. Kofi's going to be like right there with several false finishes, but I have to believe that this match could potentially go Daniel Bryan's way. Now, could they go the route if they want to copy truly? Do they have Daniel Bryan destroy Kofi in like 10 seconds? That would be really cool because the next night, because that would be really cool on SmackDown, I think maybe Kofi Mania would run really wild. They're not going to do it because that would be really crazy to copy it exactly bit by bit as to how Daniel Bryan got over. But you know what? I just can't. I can't see Kofi raising his hand WrestleMania. It just doesn't look right just yet. Give me Daniel Bryan.
I think you're wrong. Told you were wrong a couple times.
Yep, you got to put your money where your mouth is, brother.
I'm going with Kofi Kingston.
All right.
I think Kofi Mania is absolutely insane. If you watch SmackDown, you know it's banana boats. It's bonkers. I think Kofi wins this. Okay. I think he has his WrestleMania moment. I think you send the fans home happy. And I think he could I think he could drop the belt in the coming weeks or at the next pay-per-view.
Okay.
But I think he wins it. All right. We've got the WWE Universal Championship match. So Brock Lesnar, who holds the awful red belt, versus Seth Rollins.
This is tough, bro.
This is tough.
So odds are that it's time. They've put a lot of work into Seth Rollins. Brock Lesnar can come back and feud with a lot of people in the shakeup. Give me Seth Rollins. I'm just going right with my head. I think it builds up to this. You can't have Brock Lesnar winning. I think everyone will go apeshit angry and might shit on matches depending on where you put it. If this happens, you might not have a happy crowd for future matches. So I say if you're going to do it with Brock Lesnar, put it like fourth just put it fourth so that people can get over it because it's going to be a shock and people are not going to be happy. So give me Seth Rollins.
I'm with you. It's Seth Rollins all day. Lesnar's had the belt long enough. You erase CM Punk's longest title reign. He doesn't show up for shows. At some point, if you're going to have this god-awful title, you need to have it on TV. You need to have a champion who fights. Give me Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins, baby. Burn it down.
All right, main event. Winner take all. Ronda Rousey, who is the Raw championship, or the Raw champion. Charlotte Flair, who's the SmackDown champion. Versus Becky Lynch, who is challenging for both belts. Who wins this and unites both titles?
I said earlier, I believe it's Becky Lynch. My brain tells me it's Becky Lynch, but why not have Ronda Rousey continue this feud and keep it going? I got to put my money where my mouth is because I think you're a fan of the man. It's tough. Do they give it to Charlotte? It's really tough to pull the trigger because...
Could you see them giving it to Charlotte? Yeah, I could totally see them giving it to Charlotte.
I could totally see them swerving everybody because everybody thinks it's going to be the man. Everybody thinks that the man is going to take over this WrestleMania. But then where does that put Ronda Rousey? You have her lose clean to these two women? Do you have it where Charlotte takes the fall for Becky Lynch and Ronda's not involved? I mean, I got to play it with, my gut tells me it's Ronda Rousey, but to play this game, I got to go with the flow. I think it's going to be Becky Lynch pinning Charlotte, making Ronda irrelevant. She's still strong, but she doesn't actually lose the title. Becky Lynch is the undisputed women's champ. Becky Lynch, the man. It has to be. It's built up to this.
I see it playing out the same exact way. I think
not include Ronda. Becky Lynch wins it.
You want to keep Ronda strong, whether she goes away or not, to have a kid. You want to keep Ronda looking strong, so when she does come back or for her next match, whenever that may be, Becky beats Charlotte. I think that adds to that feud. I think that's Becky's next. That's Becky's next challenge. I think Charlotte now chasing Becky is where the money's at. I think Becky wins this. She's my girlfriend. This is what happens. This is how it gets done. I always go with my girlfriend. I love my girlfriend. Becky wins. So just to recap real quick, we both have Becky Lynch winning. For the Universal Championship match, we both have Seth Rollins winning. For the WWE Championship match, you've got Daniel Bryan. I've got Kofi Kingston. We both have Samoa Joe retaining his U.S. title if this match takes place. For the Intercontinental Championship, we both have Finn Balor winning. We both have the Boss and Hug Connection winning the Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Tag Team Championships. The Fatal 4-Way for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. You've got Ricochet and Aleister Black. I've got the Usos retaining. For the Cruiserweight Championship match, we both have Buddy Murphy winning. For the no-holds-barred match between Triple H and Batista with Triple H's career on the line, we both have Trips winning that. We both have The Miz winning the Falls Count Anywhere match against Shane McMahon. The Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin match, it's a coin flip. You've got Kurt Angle winning because it's his farewell match. I've got Baron Corbin winning because I think Kurt's going to do the job. AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. We both believe in AJ Styles. Nobody's buying an RKO. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. We are different here as well. You've got Reigns. I've got Drewy Mac. In the kickoff show, this is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. You've got Apollo, who is your new boy. I've got EC3, who is my old boy. In the second annual WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, where you fight for a uterus, you've got Asuka winning it. I've got Kairi Sane coming up from NXT to win it. On calling the card, I've got the slightest of leads. If I lose this week with the picks, you will then take a very, very slight lead and jump out in front. Currently, I have 9. You currently have 8.5.
Here we go, baby.
The slimmest of margins.
Some great news and notes this week, and even some breaking news as we record this. Hit me with this week's professional wrestling news and notes.
Dean Ambrose might not be done with WWE, or WWE might not be done with Uncle Dino. At the end of Raw, once it was off the air, Dean came down to punish Baron Corbin a little bit more. Ambrose currently has no match on WrestleMania 35, and his contract is supposed to end in early April, so this bears some watching because he was supposed to be written off of Monday Night Raw. Michael Elgin parted ways with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Currently, it's unclear where he will end up. He may go back to ROH. Maybe he goes to NXT. Maybe he goes to Impact. Maybe he goes to AEW. I would say AEW is probably the front runner right now. It's being leaked that John Cena will have a match at WrestleMania. However, it's being kept under wraps. It's a secret who his competitor will be, and it's a secret what this match will entail. So nobody knows. Only the highest of the high know what John Cena will be doing at WrestleMania. I have no other knowledge than that. SmackDown could add a third hour for Fox. Monday Night Raw is 3 hours, and we all hate it. SmackDown is 2 hours, and we all, for the most part, I mean, obviously, look at the way SmackDown has been trending. I don't think they've had a loss in like 10 weeks.
Here's how I look at it. Ideally, they need that third hour to get more talent on there. The problem is you and I and most marks don't believe they'll utilize that hour correctly.
They don't.
More boring SmackDowns. That would be terrible.
It would be horrible.
They'd have to change it up.
Yep. So SmackDown could add a third hour for Fox. In doing so, they would pocket another $50 million to that massive contract they've already sold, or they've already garnered. The first 2 hours would air on Fox. So here in Detroit, it would air on Fox 2 Detroit.
And change over.
And then the third hour would air on FS1.
That's corny. No, just
FS1
do it right.
Needs talent.
Nobody does that shit. Just air it in one spot.
Content.
Altogether.
That's why. Lars Sullivan may be returning soon. Not sure when, but it's being reported that he is in better mental health. And so he could be coming back to the air. Also, I'm looking for that extra news that you got there. I don't see anything. But also...
I got it for you. I'll tell you.
You got it? All right, cool. If you get a chance, check out HBO's John Oliver. He did a 23-minute monologue on the WWE.
Nothing new in terms of complaints, but it
was very good, though.
Detailed, highlights how wrestlers, in terms of being independent contractors, having a lot of fees they have to take care of themselves, not being taken care of by the man, was basically highlighted in that. A lot of wrestlers, basically it's a turnstile. You got to get in and you're utilized, but you're an independent contractor. And so AEW is presenting something a little bit different by giving some more benefits. And speaking of AEW...
Hold on real quick. Get it on HBO, or you can go get it off YouTube. Sorry, go ahead.
Yep. 3-year deal for JR. Good old JR's back, baby.
Oh, really?
AEW signed him. It was kind of rumored. People kind of knew that officially Jim Ross's contract ended.
Good for him.
Yep, and he signed now as a senior consultant, and it's being described as, quote-unquote, the most lucrative contract for a pro wrestling broadcaster.
Good for him. He deserves it.
Yeah, he does deserve it. 3 years, and it just shows you the respect level that AEW and Cody have with Jim Ross. He'll do a great job, and it's a good natural fit. I just think that, too, he'll provide a good level experience for a growing organization. And from what I'm hearing, all across the board, people are telling AEW, take it slow, don't try and compete with WWE all at once, make your mark, put on good shows, make good money, and take care of business. And I think that's the attitude they're taking. They're taking it slow. Now, how's this all going to shake out? It's yet to be seen, but it sounds like they're doing it right from the hype perspective and from the ability to market. Now, on a side note, WWE is being a little bit bullish in that they've started to decline Chris Jericho's request for some WWE wrestlers to show up on his podcast. And it's natural to have that happen. I'm not too surprised by it. It's a little bit easy marketing for Chris Jericho to get a bunch of WWE guys, and it's not right according to WWE. And I agree. I think that, you know what, he's now a competitor, and you just don't freely let your talent go to a podcast, especially when there's so many other ones that are also WWE ran, that you can go to that are more favorable and can get the message across. Maybe not have so many tough pressing inside questions, or maybe not sharing a lot of info with Chris Jericho, because on the side you might get some side stuff, and limiting that contact might be a wise thing.
This is going to get really salty.
Oh yeah,
really quick.
Oh yeah, they're all friendly, but
Vince isn't going to take this.
Yeah, friendly but competitive, and I think this is one of the first moves, and I think it's a good one.
It'll be interesting. I like more access, more content, more stuff. Give me everything. Let me absorb whatever I can absorb, and if I forget something, hopefully you pick it up. So I want more, so I don't like it.
Be sure to follow Detroit Sports Podcast. Follow Adam on Twitter at AdamRSTROZ. Follow the network at Detroit Podcast. Feel free, if you're going to watch WrestleMania, let us know how you think the matches are going and playing out. We're your spot, baby. During any wrestling shows, Ring of Honor, NXT, WrestleMania, AEW, anything at all, New Japan that you want to message, we'll read it. We love it. I want to thank Dennis Farrell, a great supporter of the network. Follow him on Twitter at Dennis77Farrell. Follow the Wrestling Perspective Podcast. Go to the website, WrestlingPerspectivePodcast.com. We share content with Dennis, and it's great, a great working relationship. For the Jock, Adam Strozinski, I am the Doc, John Macaroon. It's going to be a great wrestling weekend, baby. Let's get hype.
I can't wait, man.
Let's get hype.
Let's go EC3, do something. It'd be cool. WWE, figure it
Please.
out. So it should be good. Hopefully WrestleMania doesn't screw it up. NXT is going to be great.
NXT is going to be awesome, and don't sleep on the Hall of Fame. A lot of great memories, a lot of great nostalgia, and it's a great class. Stay tuned for next week when we recap this, because Doc might have a dilemma. The Raw after WrestleMania or the NCAA title game with Michigan State. Or both at the same time. Got to figure it out.
Wait, hold on, wait. You've got Dish.
Yeah.
Aren't you allowed to stream? Can you set your computer up and watch something
both.
on your computer?
Oh, yeah.
So
I can do both.
Watch one on the big screen and watch one on the little screen. That's what what was that? I think it was there was football going on. Was that? I don't remember. I think it was for the BCS, for the national championship. I think I had wrestling on the big screen. I had BCS on the little screen, so the wife didn't have to watch that.
Yes, sir.
You can do it. You got it figured out, bro.
Let's do it. Can't wait to talk about it. See everybody next week. You've just downloaded the latest edition of the Doc and Jock Wrestling Podcast.